everybody, this is EJ Fizzle here, and I'm back from vacation. You know what that means? A new movie review! Yay! Alright. So this movie we are gonna be reviewing is Thunderbolts. I don't know why I'm acting like there's gonna be like a poster of Thunderbolts, but if I do that, that'll be cool. That would make sense. If not. Whoa! Anyway, so I saw this movie uh 3 days ago, and I still remember what it's about. It's, or at least what the movie is. Like, and I don't care. I don't think you care either. So anyway, before we start, make sure you all like and subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell. We are at 600 subs. Let's try to get to 1,000. Come on. By the end of this year, I know we can do it. If we were able to get to 600 by 4 months. I think it was like 4 months. I don't even remember. 4 months. Then we can make it to 1,000 by the end of this year, right, guys? Anyway, just to let y'all know, spoilers for this movie. So if you have not seen it, go watch this movie right now, okay? Anyway, so Thunderbolts. So Yelena is down on her luck and decides to go, and her last mission with Valentina is to go and help her destroy all the evidence of her experiments, because her research and everything is about making the Avengers again. So she goes to this facility, finds Taskmaster, U.S. Agent, Bob, Ghost, and she goes to kill them, and they all kill each other, because they're all ran by the same girl, Valentino. So while they're doing that, they realize that they are also evidence, so they also need to die. So that's what Valentino tries to do, and it fails miserably. Um. So they get away, except for Taskmaster. Taskmaster gets headshot and dies. So sorry, Taskmaster fans, if you thought that she was gonna survive to the end of the movie. No, 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 no. So Bucky gets them, and basically they are gonna help Bucky expose Valentina and send her to jail. And while that's happening, Bob. So Bob is, his power is he's bulletproof, super strong, he's super cool. He's also got a little bit of a dark side, and this is where the movie shifts to like fun movie to a, oh my god, am I shedding a tear? Because he's got this dark side named the Void. And whenever he gets like okay, so his whole thing is he doesn't really like himself. Okay, I'm gonna make this serious. This is gonna be serious. So, you know, he doesn't really like himself, and he thinks that the world's out to get him, and so he created this manifestation called the Void. And whenever he gets too worked up and stuff, he turns into the Void. And once everyone realizes this, well, the Thunderbolts don't know it, but Valentina knows it. And whenever Valentina gets a hold of him, and then they oh my god, I lost my train of thought. EJ Fizzle symptom, hold on. So anyway, sorry. So once Valentina knows about this, she uses him as this new, basically, god. And she's like, yo, look what I got here. And, Bob feels fulfilled and feels like he's something. And then once he realizes that he's being used, he realizes, or at least he thinks, that he's worthless. He doesn't mean anything. All these really, really bad thoughts. until the void just straight up goes and consumes as one does. And once he becomes this void, he can't go back because the void's overpowering. So the mm, my brain. So once the void overpowers him, the void takes control, starts putting people in the shadow realm, literally, and he's just not having the greatest day of his entire life. And he doesn't like himself, and he thinks he's worthless and all that. And so Yelena tries to like cope with him because she also feels that way. And honestly, all the characters except for Ghost feel like they're worthless. Yelena is overshadowed by Black Widow and she thinks she can't fulfill the role. US Agent is also shadowed by Captain America and he can't think that he can't fill that role, which he can't. Red Guardian doesn't feel fulfilled anymore because he was the Captain America of Russia, but then did not become like stopped being sorry the Captain America of Russia, and so they're all dealing with that sense of who am I. And so while that's happening, um, Bob has the worst of it. He has like a bad childhood with his real shitty dad, and he's was experimented on because he wanted to be something, and instead he just made it worse for himself because the void existed, and so he's just dealing with all this pain and hatred, and oh my god. And while this is all happening, there's he's goes while the void is shadow realming people, he is in like this space where like nothing can hurt him, nothing can harm him, he's safe, you know and Yelena goes in there and they try to get out, and then they appear in some hospital where the void is, because it turns out that's the same hospital bed that Bob was in so he can get experimented. And so when that happens, the void is talking down to him, and he it gets fed up and starts base beating the living shit. Like, I'm talking punches all over, down on the ground, bam, bam. And while this is happening, it's actually making it really, really worse because, he hates himself and he's basically just harming himself by hitting the void, because the void is just himself and his dark thoughts in physical form. So he's essentially just, like I said, harming himself. So Yelena and the other Thunderbolts go up to him, give him a hug, tell him, "Hey, you're not alone. You're you're good. You know, you're safe. No one's gonna hurt you. You're worth something." And he stops being the living shit out of the void, and he breathes. He realizes, he like breaks down because he hasn't had that kind of feeling of like, hey, people actually do care about you. And I've had, you know uh he boom boom, the day is saved. But I want to come back on this because I know friends who had that, who felt like they weren't enough. And even I also am battling with that. I'm better. I'm better, you know, or at least I'm getting there. But I've had friends who I don't directly help them, but I'm at least there, which in my mind makes it feel like I'm actually helping them cope with that feeling of, hey, you're not worthless, you're something. You're not just, no one's out to get you. Everything's gonna be okay. And I think how Marvel treated it was a lot more mature than I thought. because the only maturity that I got out of any Marvel film, in my opinion, besides the Avengers, was all three of the Guardians movies. Whether and whether that be by jokes, but they never like, especially sorry, I know you don't like to see that close up, but you know, and especially in the third where like it dealt with Rocket. But anyway, back to Thunderbolts, where like Bob just felt like the world was out to get him. And, they took it so seriously. There weren't really any jokes about it. It was all just, hey, you're okay. You're not you're not bad. No one's out to get you. You're not a threat. You don't need to hate yourself. You're enough. And I think that's a really good message. So good on you, Marvel. You get claps from me. But seriously, like this movie is like really good. And I know I kind of may have sort of spoiled it, but I just felt like I've seen all these other YouTubers review it, and come to my surprise, unless I missed one, which you could tell me in the comments, but I haven't seen anyone explain the Bob situation. You know, like they've basically just talked about how like it's Suicide Squad but Marvel. And you could debate on if it is or not, but they didn't really talk about like the heading home. Like I'm trying to explain to you guys, the audience, that there was a deeper meaning in the Thunderbolts than Suicide Squad Junior. It was just a movie basically saying, hey, you're enough. No one's out to get you. Everything's going to be okay. Because like I said, I dealt with it. I know friends who have dealt with it. And it sucks. I mean, I'm going to be real. Like, it sucks to have that feeling. So, if I recommend, obviously, I recommend this movie, 9.5 out of 10. Post-credit scene is funny. End credit scene is amazing. Get ready for Fantastic Four, y'all. It's gonna be a wild ride on that one. But just going back on, like, just so we all know and we're all clear, you're enough. And if you need to repeat this video twice, 1,000 times, just to get that in your head, then at least I know I'm doing something that is semi-positive. So that's gonna do it for this video. It's a little more serious, but that's okay. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys. Have a great rest of your day.